any questions you have when it comes to network here? I mean, this is definitely not a network class, but these are the basic fundamental things you should know when it comes to network, and then the TCP protocol. This is the most used, and the second most used is UDP. So let's see here. Okay. So let me go ahead and start on it, scripting. So what I'll do is I will take this one of the server here, and I'm going to make it scripting, and I'm going to right click clone. Okay, so I cannot clone it, right? So what I'm going to do is let's see here. I'm in class. Just throw it in the garage. Close the door. Sidra, close the door. Open up again. Something is blocking. Come on, check out. I'm gonna clone this here, and I'm gonna name it as scripting. Okay, let me just save it. In the garage. Okay, yeah, leave it there. Okay, so I'm gonna log in to Red Hat, and I'm gonna change the name, host name, right? All right, let me. 192.68.56.250. Yeah, it's not gonna work.
Hey, Mr. Zafar, I think you're on mute. Well, I don't know if you're talking or not, but I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute.
It's okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna change the name here, and I'm gonna just restart. And what I'm doing is I'm just creating a clone so that I keep a separate server just for scripting. Okay. So let's see here. I'm gonna minimize this, this. So what I need to download is I need to download Notepad++. So it's just a Notepad app, but it's better. It will autosave, that's what it is. So I just go here and Notepad. So Notepad++ is nothing but just a Notepad, but it has like a little extra feature than regular built-in Notepad that could allow you to connect. I'm sorry, allow you to copy paste much better. Okay. So I'm gonna say 192.168.56.250. So I'm gonna say root. I'm gonna say Red Hat, Okay, so I'm in here. So what's gonna happen here is we'll start off some scripting. I'll explain you how exactly the scripting works, and based on that you could automate some stuff, mundane stuff that you'll be doing every day. Okay, so
Do we have to open their notepad too?
here's the thing, any notepad would work, this one worked too. Okay, the reason I downloaded this one is it has, like, obviously you see a lot of features in here, and the reason I'm not using Word is because it will autocorrect, because scripting is like you'll be using a colon, semicolon. I'll be using something which doesn't make sense in English, that's why Word tried to autocorrect it. So to get rid of that issue, I'm just using Notepad. Yeah, definitely download it if you wanted to. I mean, by all means, go ahead and download it if you need to, but for you, a regular Notepad should work fine. I'm just using here to copy in here so that you could have the notes in here. So let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, so what happened here is 12, 26, 20, 20. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put something like this, and I'm gonna say shell script. So I think I already told you, if you do ls, right, and hit enter, it's what is it doing? It is running that command here. What if you want to run two commands right next to each other? ls, then you have to give semicolon, then you do pwd and hit enter. So it ran the first command and then it ran the second command, right? Now what you could do is you could expand on this, and then you could do echo, and then you could do a host name. Any commands you ever used or learned so far, you could definitely put in here. Then I do echo a little bit, then I do lsblk, then echo. I'm doing echo so that you it gives you a little space there. So the moment I hit enter, all these commands here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the 8 commands ran simultaneously, right? You don't have to, just imagine if you want to sit there and run each command, it's going to take time here. So you wrote something and then you run it, it's going to run it here. So what you could do is this kind of automation is called shell script. Okay, you can literally have unlimited amount of commands. You can literally have unlimited commands running from CLI. Okay, so this kind of commands is considered shell scripting. So what you could do is you could have a lot of things done here. I mean, this is just the tip I'm giving you. The reason I'm showing you this is so that you get a good understanding what is happening here. For the script, the moment you put semicolon, it's running it one after another. It's running the script right one after another, because it runs this command and then the CLI grabs the second command, third command, and runs it for you. Okay, so let's see what else we could do here is We could do df-h, and then you could also do echo cat etc fs tab. See, if I hit enter, boom, it's running all those commands simultaneously. Even you could put in init 0 in here. Init 6 is going to restart the computer. See, it ran all those commands and then it's restarting the computer. So you could see how fast that is running, right? When it comes to running a script, it gets really good. I'm not gonna put restart, but you got the idea here what is happening. Okay, so far you good with me, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you take these commands and put it in a file. Okay, so you take these commands and put it in a file. It becomes a bash script. Okay, so from here we're gonna work on bash script. This is the start of bash scripts here. So we're gonna put this in a file and then make it work as a bash script. So I'm gonna log in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do ls here. So whatever I have here, I'm gonna get rid of this because it shouldn't. So I'm gonna do vi, and then I'm gonna say script. Okay, and then I'm gonna hit enter. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna paste the commands. I'm gonna copy the commands we have here, right? I'm gonna copy these commands here. I'm not gonna copy the init 6. Okay, give me 1 second here. Let me just restart this system, okay? So I'm gonna say vi script and hit enter, okay? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paste all those commands in here, okay? And then I'm gonna save and exit. So what you have to do is if you just type script, it's not gonna run. It's not gonna give anything to us. Okay. For the system to understand this is script. Okay. So what you have to do is VI script. In here, what you have to do is you have to type pound and exclamation, and then you have to type bin and bash. So what you're doing is system will look at this and then is gonna use these commands in front of it. So it will execute these commands here. Okay, so I'll see what else I'll show you in a second here. So what will happen is if you are say type which bash, so it's gonna go into bin bash here. Okay, so there are two places that the bash file sits here. It sits in user/bin or bin bash. If you go into cd bin, and then if you do ls, okay, so ls and grep for bash. So we have a file name here, bash here. Okay, this is the file which is executing, which is running it for you here. It's written in the file bash is written in binary, so you won't be able to read it. Okay, so let me clear this. So let me go back to my file, vi script. So this part you have to say bin bash, and then it will execute it for you here. So I'll explain you what this is. Okay, so before that, let me copy this part here. So this part in a scripting language, this part is called shebang. If somebody comes up to you and say add shebang to it, that means they're asking you to add a pound sign and a exclamation. That will make it a shebang, that part. And this part is a location of a bash command. Okay, so when you put it together, it's gonna go like this: pound exclamation slash bin slash bash. So this part, the moment you put this part, the file will become a script. So you have to have this. So you have to have this for it to become a script. Okay, everybody with me so far?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So now I have that, and then I put it in a script here. Now this is a good bash script right now. It has become a bash script. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna save and exit. Now what you have to do is you have to check for the permissions. If you do ls-l, the script have to be, what is this here? I want to get rid of this. If you do ls-l, the file x, this is not executable yet. Okay, now remember each time when we were doing the permissions, this file has an option for x here, right? The last part is x, that means execute. Okay, so this file is not executable at this moment here. So if I do, the method for executing the file is slash like this and the script. So it says permission denied. So what you have to do is you have to give the permission chmod 755 script. So if you do ls-l now, the file has become executable now. Okay, so the method of executing a file is you have to do a period and a slash and the script. Okay, this is the moment you run this, the system will start reading the file, then it will execute all these commands in there. Okay, so before that, let me copy this. Okay, so what happened here is I'm gonna put down here so before that, what I'll do is method of executing the script file. So what is the method? If you want to execute the file here, you have to, this is the method you have to do, a period, a slash, and the name of the file. And then you have to give the file must have a execute permission. Okay, permission, the script file must have execute permission. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to give the execute permission here. Okay, now the file is executable. Okay, so we heard about execution of the file here. Now it's coming into play now. Is there a way I could highlight this? Let's see, style, plugin. Yeah, I cannot highlight this here. Well, you got the idea, right? The X makes it executable for mission, okay? All right, so I've talked about it. Now let's execute the file. Execute the file, okay? Execute the script, okay? Going forward, it's a script, not a file anymore. So when I do this here, everything from the file, everything inside this file, the commands. Can you go on mute, please? So all these commands should run here, okay? Watch. See, all the command ran. All the command that you put it in the file here, it ran for you, okay? So it did the script, and why is it showing script? Because the very first command here is ls, then pwd, then echo. When you do echo and nothing in front of it, it becomes a blank line, okay? Then you did the host name and you did echo, it's blank, okay? So, and then followed by lsblk, which is right here, and then echo again, that means a blank file, so that you could see it visually better. And df-h, our favorite command, so it ran that command, and then it gave a space here, and then it did cat etc fstab, okay? Any questions? Okay, good, no questions. So what will happen here is all the commands in the file will run, okay? Just put it like that. So if I run this script here, if I do this here, what is this gonna do? Anybody? So if you wanted to put the output here, you don't want to see it in the screen, you want to put it into some external files, you run this and then it will create a file for you, and then it will put what is supposed to be on the screen. It goes into this file here, okay? See, all the output of the file, it went in there. If you want to redirect the content of the output to a file, okay, you run this here, output.txt will hold the redirected, will hold the output from the script. All right, this is it. So we have a basic script here, okay? Okay, so if you do ls, so the script has few things here. So at your work, how do you know a file is a script? Usually what you do is you have to give like some kind of extension here, .sh. Okay, so normally extension is not necessary for your file here, but you could definitely give any extension anything to it, so that your co-workers and anybody who's using the system when you're not there, they would understand that this file is a script file. Okay, so how would that work? What you could do is, let me create a file name vi. I'm gonna say template .sh or scr. Anything would work. So what I'm gonna do is, in here I'm gonna give the shebang bin bash. Okay, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna save and no, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in here. This is a blank template. So if you do ls-l, it didn't do anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and change the permissions here. chmod 755 template. So what I did was, I just went ahead and gave the .src, so that people in your work will know this is this file is a script file. You don't have to, like this one here, we did a script here, it's not necessary. Okay, script, this is a script identification. Okay, say the script itself does not need any extension, but generally it's a good idea to have one. Okay, so examples would be .sh, .src, or .scrp. Okay, you got the idea. Whatever you want to do, you could definitely do that. Okay, but here this is an example. I'm gonna put it here. Okay. All right. I'm gonna give like a 30 seconds here, and I want to know if anybody has any questions here. Okay, so any questions? Okay, no questions. Okay, so let me proceed. So what will happen is, I'm going to show you what comment out is. If I go into VI script, and if I put a pound here, what will happen to the script? Anybody take a wild guess?
It won't run.
It what?
It won't run.
I heard you, but it will not run or it will run?
It will not run.
Okay, very good. Okay, so this part, whatever is here, and then the line, if it's wrapping around, if it's the same exact line, it will never run. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save and exit, and I'm gonna say script. See, nothing happened, it didn't run. What we could do is I'm gonna do, so we have bunch of lines in here. So if I do this, it will run only one time here, okay? It will never run, the first one and the second one will not run. It will run only this time. Okay, so this is something you should keep practice. So whenever you're going into a file, okay, the perfect example is, remember, I think I had told you one time that whenever you're going into a file, it's a good idea to copy a line and then change that to, like this one here, remember? We deleted this here, and this thing was causing a problem booting up the system because system was reading at this here. So it's always a good idea to put a pound sign in there so that you don't mess it up. What I usually do is I go in there, put a pound sign, and then also put a date in there. You know what I mean? I'll put in a date, 12/26/2020, and then I save and exit. So whoever comes in here, oh, somebody came in here and then they changed around on this date here, okay? So this is how the scripting works, because etcfs tab is nothing but a script in itself. So these two files are blind now. Okay, these two lines are blind now. Hash is used for comments or disabling specific line in script. Okay, so what will happen is for the script, this line is blind. This line is blind and this line is blind. Okay, you guys got the idea, okay? So I don't have to stress too much. So whichever line is not commented, boom, it will run it for you. So if I come here and then if I allow last two lines, save and exit, then I'm gonna run the script. So it ran two times actually. Okay, it was so fast that we missed it. Okay, all right, so let's see here. I'm gonna show you it in a real script here, how it works. So what I'll do is vi script. Here I'm gonna say I'm gonna delete this file, delete this line. I'm gonna actually delete this. I'm gonna say echo. I'm gonna show you the echo command. Echo. This is lsblk command, and then I'm gonna say lsblk because it will run this. Echo df-h is commented out. Okay, so you have to use this term here, comment out, with your colleagues. If you say like I'm having some problem, one of your colleagues say comment out line number 10 or line number 12, that means he's telling you to put a pound sign on it, okay? If I do pound df-h, so what will happen is it will run lsblk and it will just show this message and it will not run df-h. So if I run script, there you go. So down here it says df-h is commented out. If I go back and uncomment this, so it runs the df-h also. It says df-h is running. Oops. Let me minimize this here. Okay, so you got the idea here. So what I'll do is I'll just put the pound sign in front of it. And then I'm going to copy and then put it in here so that you have good explanation here. So I'll say this command will run and this command will not run. Okay, in fact, this one and this one is a comment too, so this will run too. Okay, echo is also a. Okay, so let me copy this. This command will run, this command will run, this command will not run. Okay, so before I forget, let me save this here, save as. And I'm gonna save it in, where should I save all this in here? Data, and script.txt. Okay, so it says normal txt. Okay. So only benefit here is it will give you so many options here to saving here. You would definitely need some kind of text editor here, a little bit enhanced than what you already is getting from Microsoft. So yeah, this one is normal text file. I'm gonna still give you a script.txt, or I don't need to, but yeah, let's just save it like that. Let me go back in there. Okay, so this is the file I have here. Look how small it is, only 4 KB so far. Okay, so everybody, I hope everybody has a clear understanding of commenting out and how you're beginning to script here. So this is the foundation of writing a script here, okay? So now let's build up on what we have learned, and so whatever these commands here, whenever we are running here the script, it kind of, it's kind of generic here, looks it is running it, but in this script here, let me put the original thing back in so that it remains what it's supposed to be. All right, let's move forward. I'm gonna build up on this and then start from another file here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy template again, and then I'm gonna give it a name basic.scr. Okay, you don't. What I'm gonna do is let's do sh. Okay, it doesn't matter what you're doing the extension as, whatever it is, as long as you are making it, as long as this part is being bashed and the permissions is 755, you're good here. So what I'll do is I'll get rid of this and I'll say like okay, so I'll this is basic script with clean output. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say echo. Remember, echo, whatever you put in front of echo, it will just read it out to you. Okay, it doesn't do anything other than what it is. This is output for ls-l. Okay, and then I'm gonna go like this and hit enter. So what will happen is it will have ls-l. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just build up on this here, and each time I'm going to make it look nice. Here, and then here again, and what else? So the first one was ls. The second one, what did we had in the second one is I'm gonna skip that. So okay, yeah, let's see. This is the output of pwd. Okay, all I'm gonna do is run pwd. Okay, whenever the command is right when you start from the start of the line, you put the command, the system will run it for you. And then what was the next one is host name. This is output of host name. So what I'm going to do here, what is the command for host name? I'm going to give host name. Okay. Now I'm going to say this is the blk. So lsblk is the command. So I'm going to say lsblk. Okay. And then df-h. So I'm going to say df-h. So in this part, the command is not running here in the echo command. The command is running here. Okay, echo is nothing but a command itself just to repeat the output. And what was the last one we have in there? Cat etcfs tab, right? So I'm going to say cat etcfs tab. So if I do run basic.sh, it's gonna run all those for you here. So if you look closely, so we ran this command here and says okay, it says this is output for ls-l, and then it ran the command, and it says this is output for pwd root, so it ran So it does all this for you, okay? So it's up to you how clean you want to keep it so that others could use it, or if you want to keep it messy, it's up to you. Generally speaking, if you want to have some script, your personal script, you don't really have to explain anything in there. You know, you just you have to write your own script so that you understand. But if you're working in a team and then you have some standard set, then you could do this here. Look, if you want to keep it nice and clean, you could definitely do this. Okay, so far so good. Now, so far we have all this working, right? So let me clear this. Let me copy a template, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give this a name here. So I'm gonna give it a name, command location .scr. Okay, this time I'm putting this as a scr here. The reason I put scr is I want to highlight it's meaningless here. If you put .sh, .scr in front of it or leave it blank, it is not going to change anything when the script is running. Okay, I hope I'm driving that home with my English. You know, you all getting it. Stop me if you have any questions, okay, please. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I meant by this here, location of command location here. Okay, so let's see here. If I go in here, and so what happens is I put like in here df-h, then echo, then if I have echo, and then if I do like this here, this is blk id. Okay, but let me try running it, see what happens here. So it says this is blk id, but blk id didn't really run because I didn't provide this in this line here, right? But what you could do is, if you want to run away from the start of the line, what you could do is you have to put in a backtick here. Backtick. Okay, so what is a backtick? If you look on your keyboard, okay, right next to, you have tilde here, right next to number 1 on the left side, you have tilde on your screen here, right? So this is the top one, the top squiggly character is tilde, and then the bottom character is, it looks like a single quote here, but this is not a single quote. It is a backtick. It's small, it's leaning backwards. It's called backtick. So now what will happen is it will display this part here, but then it will run the command. So let's see if it's going to do it. See, it ran the command here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a little bit of echo in here. So if you give a blank echo and so that you could see it better, I'm going to clear this. The lsblk is a bad command here. Let's change it to let's change it to the smaller command, which gives out a smaller output here, right? So let's see here. Let me do ls-l, okay? So I'm going to do ls-l. I don't think I need this here. I'm going to save and exit. If I run this command here, okay, so here it says it ran the first command, and then this is ls-l. This is where it is, and it's running the command. It's running ls-l command, and it's giving you the output here. Okay. All right, good. So here, use backtick. Backtick if you have to use the command somewhere middle of the line. Okay, I hope it makes sense. The command okay. So this is good here, right? So I don't think you have to put it in the command here. What you could do is you could put outside the command also, I think, yeah. Yeah, there you go. So the command is executing right after it. I like the first one better. So what I'll do is I'll get rid of this here. Don't worry about this too much here. If I'm showing you all the tricks in here, how and when the command is running, and how you could recognize where the command is located inside the script here. So now let's talk about some booleans or arithmetic operators. Okay, we call it operators. Okay, so if we have a plus sign, this is considered addition. And if you have a minus sign, this is considered subtraction. Okay, and asterisk, I think you all should know. I mean, you all know what this is. Multiplication. Okay, and then the slash is considered a division. Okay, and for multiplication, how do you use this in multiplication? You use all this here, but multiplication, it's a little bit different. What you do is when using inside script, use slash and an asterisk. That will be read as a multiplication inside the script. Okay, so this is a this is a forward slash backslash, and this one is a forward slash for division. Okay, so let's see here. So there is a built-in command inside Linux. It's called expression, expr. Okay, so expr is a built-in command like ls, dhfns, or whatever. So if you do expr 2 plus 2, no, you give space 2 space 2 plus 2, then it will give you a math. It's doing the mathematical calculation here. Okay, if I do 2 minus 2, and if you want to do 2 divided by 2, this is what it does. And then if you want to do multiply, you do backslash and asterisk. Okay, so if you could do this here, you could put it in a script also. Okay, we'll worry about that a little later. Everybody with me so far? So I'm gonna put down here expr is built in. It's a built-in command and stands for expression. Okay, expr is short for expression. What are you expressing? We are expressing 2 plus 2 is gonna be 4. 2 plus 2 is going to be 4, 2 minus 2 is going to be 0, and it's just the basic math. Okay, and also there is a concept called Boolean. I'm going to say Boolean, B-O-O-L-E-A-N. Okay, operators. What is a Boolean? Boolean is nothing but a true or false. Comparison actually. Either if it's true or false, okay? So if you want to compare something true, the built-in is -EQ, or you do double equal. This stands for equal to. Okay, and then -NE stands for not equal to. Everybody know equal to, not equal to, and all this, right? I mean, it's just a basic. I don't know what grade you might end up learning this, but so if is 2 is equal to 2, now 2 is equal to 2, then yeah, it's true. And if I say 2 is not equal to 2, that means that's false. Actually, 2 is equal to 2. That means if you're saying 2 is not equal to 2, that means that is not true. So this is what it is. And then greater than. So what you do is, everybody knows the greater than sign. Okay, and then less than, LT, or you could use less than like this. Okay, and then LE, -LE stands for less than or equal to. less than or equal to. Okay, hyphen GE stands for greater than or equal to. Okay, I keep putting. Okay, I think these are all it. And if you have two pies, if you have two pipes, means or. Okay, or. Either you have this or you have that. Something like this. Two pipes. So the means or. Two pipes. This is key above enter. Okay, and if you have like a double and percent, okay, means and. Or and, okay, that's all it is. There is nothing more to it. And then if you have the last one, I have here is dollar and question mark. This means to check the exit code. We will learn about this exit code in towards the end of the scripting lesson, okay? All right, let's take a good 15-minute break and we'll be back in 15 minutes, okay? We'll be back at 35. We'll be back at 50, 150.
Okay.
All right, bye. Start the recording. Okay. So you're there, right, Mirza and Burhan? Can you confirm you're there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. All right, so let's move forward. And so these are the things you have to remember. But you just keep it as a note here. I mean, you don't have to carry with you all the time. So any good scripting, you have to look up. You have to just look up the existing scripting, somebody else scripting, or you look up online and then copy that script and then make some changes if you needed to, okay? So we'll learn about that towards the end of the scripting. So let's see here. Now the next command is a read command, okay? So what does the read command does is gonna open a place that will give you to read the let me see here, the read command. So let me show you here. Clear is gonna say read. Okay, this is a built-in command, and I'll hit enter. What it's doing is the system will sit there until you give him a read, until you give him an option, and then hit enter. So I'm gonna say read and then say Zafar, right? So now what happened is read command read your input and it's holding that into the memory. Okay, so, but you don't know how to read it, right? So, but what you have to do is you have to read, and then you have to give it a placeholder instead of going and sitting in the memory, but you don't know, you have no way to recall it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say read, I'm going to say name1, and I'll hit enter, and then I'm going to say Zafar, and then how do I recall what you gave as a name1? All you have to do is echo name1. So what the system did is we have name1 as a placeholder. That placeholder is equal to Zafar here. If I say echo, okay, name1, you have to give a dollar name1 actually. So whenever you give the dollar, you're telling the system to read from the memory that says Zafar. Now I'm going to say read name1. Now this is going to override this. This is a Linux course. Okay, so what will happen here? Echo dollar name1. What are you going to see now? You're going to see this is a Linux course. There you go.
So do you have to use the dollar?
To recall it, yes.
Okay.
This is you giving it without recalling it, so this becomes a placeholder. Placeholder is also called a variable. Okay? And then when you recall the variable, you're going to say put a dollar sign in front of it and call it the name. क्या होना अब्दुल्ला? But you're gonna ruin it. So you're not gonna bend the cable, okay? Promise, copy, promise. Just leave it and go away from it. Close the door. Okay, so let's see here. Let me copy this. Read is this is a built-in command. Provides a chance to user for input. Okay, so let's we could come back and edit that part here, so if you need to redefine that. So what we did is read Zafar here, right? But there is no way how we gonna recall Zafar. So here there is no way to. So when you the input is sitting in the memory now. Okay, once you type Zafar and hit enter, input is sitting in memory. If the system reboots, then if you try to get back to Zafar, read back to Zafar what's in there, you won't be able to do it. Okay, it's only sitting in the memory. Okay, so there is no way. There is no way to recall what's in memory, right? So now to overcome that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna give this here read followed by the variable. You need to give a placeholder. Okay, let's use it as a placeholder. Okay, the proper term for placeholder is variable. Variable. Okay, so in this case, name1 is variable. Okay, name1 is variable here. Now so when you give the name1, it saves into the memory here. It takes the input, puts in the name1 and saves in the memory now. Okay, so how do I recall? So over here we gave name1, right? So if you follow this format, it will give you the output. Okay, so with echo, if you type echo, it's giving the blank. So what else do you do is echo, this is Zafar, right? So what will happen when I hit enter? What's gonna show up now on the screen? This part is gonna show up. Okay, this is what the echo command is. This part is gonna show up. But now if I type echo $name1, it will make the dollar sign to search in the memory and look for name1. And it goes into the memory and look for name1, and this is what is coming out from the memory, okay? You got to remember that. Okay, so this is another example.
So, Mr. Zafar, question. So, anything we want to put in the memory, like storing the memory, we just add a $sign
Yes.
before it?
Yep.
And after the echo command, right?
No, you use the read command to put it in memory.
Okay.
So let's
read. Sorry. Okay.
Let's do that here. Okay. Let's put like bunch of things in here.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say read. Name1 is already there, right? Read name2. I'm gonna say Harun. Then read name3. Burhan. And read name4 Adil. Okay, now each of them are sitting in the memory here as 1, 2, 3, 4, name1, name2, name3, name4. So if I do echo echo dollar, so I'll say dollar name1 and a dollar name2. So it should all bring whatever is sitting in the memory here, okay, until the system is rebooted. Dollar name3 and dollar name4. Why not? Let's add dollar name1 again, or name2 again, or whatever. Okay, so how many times you gonna say is gonna read that? Did you get it? So name1, this part is name1, and name2 is Harun here. Name3 is Burhan, name4 is Adil, and name2 is again. So Burhan is repeating Harun here. So this is up until you reboot the system. If you reboot the system, it's all gone. Okay, you with me so far?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, it's not a rocket science, guys. It's just, so if you learn this script, this is the very good building block foundation for any language if you ever learn, including C, C++, and the concept is going to be same, and then the process will be a little different, but once you get what I'm showing you here is all going to be here, because all this is coming from Linux here. So if you go back and you go where is the bash history, so let's see where is the bash history. Is all this coming in from one place, back in 1969, when this was part of AT&T. AT&T and IBM as one of those two companies. They invented a lot of stuff, but they don't know how to use it. Okay, like a Linux, Unix. If they would have been something big like this, they would have made a lot of money. They didn't know how to use it. Same thing with uh, IBM too, because IBM, the Windows disk, CD DOS, and all those come from IBM. Microsoft took it and started marketing it. So if you see here, bash scripting history. So bash scripting history goes in hand with Unix operating system. Bash was created when Unix was created. Okay. Oh God, this Siri is listening in. Stop it. Okay, so now, so the screenshot of bash session. Okay, so before bash, it was known as just the script, I think. Unix shell. Okay, shell. Do we have any dates in here? Okay, so it's written by Ken Thompson. Okay, so the first Unix shell was written by Thomas Shell. Okay. Thomas Shell. Okay, so it's actually person's name here, shell scripting. Thomas Shell is the Unix shell introduced in 1971, so, and was written by Ken Thompson. So this dude at AT&T, he wrote the Unix operating system. University of California. Okay, C++, all this programming, very early on, he's instrumental in having these programs here. Even the Unix operating system is written in C. C programming language. Let's see here. Okay, Bell Labs. It says Bell Labs here, right? Bell Labs used to be, it's a parent company of AT&T. It's a 150-year-old company. And they are the one who started all this. Even this C programming is fundamental to a lot of new things that is coming every day. It's all happening in C. The complex application, operating system, all those are. I wish I could find some good information. Okay, relations to other. The origin of C is closely tied to development of Unix and in assembly language. But all these are interconnected here, okay? You guys got the idea here. But if you learn the bash, that's a really good foundation for you to learn other languages. Okay, so we are good with the read command here. All this is being extracted from nothing but memory. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we could further more have some fun here. So what I'm gonna do is read num1. Okay, I'm gonna say 45. Read num2. I'm gonna say 55 and hit enter. So if I say echo $num1, $num2, $num1, $num2, what is it you're gonna get? 45 and 55. There you go. Now I'm gonna kick up a notch. If I do expr and then I do this here, and in the middle I do plus. There you go. Now it's reading that from the memory, and then you could do this here, the expression here. Okay, let's do a subtraction. -10, and let's do multiplication slash asterisk. For multiplication you have to do a slash asterisk. So it's doing the multiplication, and let's do the division. So you are indirectly, you have something sitting in the memory here, and it's indirectly, as long as the memory system is not rebooted, this is gonna stay in the memory, and then it goes in this loop. Okay, most of the Unix system, don't be surprised, they never been rebooted in 5 years, 10 years. A lot of system I worked in Apple, they were never been rebooted, because operating system, Linux operating system requires only 2 or 3 occasions they really require a reboot. Most of the time, even if you do like a heavy upgrade installation and all that, it doesn't require reboot. That's the only advantage of Linux compared to Windows. I'm sorry, that's not the only, that's one of the good advantage of Linux over Windows. Windows operating system, almost all the time, if you install something, you have to reboot. Okay, so it's the chances of that is a little less. Okay, now what you could do is, you could just play around here. Now, in here, you could also do like bring this up here, and then you could do $num1. And then $num2, because still it's in memory, right? There you go. So all this is, it doesn't matter what is happening here. Okay, and then expression, all these things are dummy things. And then we as a human are using these things for our own benefit, okay? So it's not a rocket science. So this thing is gonna stay in the memory until you reboot, okay? I think I said that enough here. Let's move forward here. Okay, so, and also we did num1, num2, we did math too, right? Okay, good. All right, any questions so far? All right, let's kick it up a notch. Let's put all this in a script and see how that works, okay? I'm gonna say copy template, and I'm gonna name it a calculator. Let's do some math in there. calc.sc. Okay, let's do sc, okay? And then I'm gonna say vi cal, and I'm gonna say here is this is a simple calculator, okay? I'm gonna say echo. This is just gonna display on the screen. Echo enter a first number, okay, and then I'm gonna say read num1, okay, because okay, this is what is happening here. Read num1, this part I'm putting it in the file, okay, and then let's copy this and then I'll say then read num2. Okay, now what? It's sitting in there, so what? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a total equal to. Now what I'm doing is I'm kind of a little expanding on what we have learned here. Now I'm gonna do the expression here. expr, this part here, whatever we have put it in there in the line, and doing it here. Okay, remember here I'm using the backtick. I told you up here that if you're going to be using a command in the middle of the line as part of a command or as part of a variable, then you have to use a backtick here. Okay, this is where the backtick is going to come handy. This is not a single quote, okay, it's a backtick. And now I'm gonna say echo okay, let me run this here, then I'll explain you what a variable is inside, okay? I'll explain how you're using total in here. Then I'm gonna say echo the sum of, okay, now I don't know what you're going to put here, so I'm going to say dollar this and dollar this. Here is going to reclaim, he's going to bring num2 from memory again and put it in there. Is colon, now we're going to say dollar total, okay, because dollar total. I'm going to run the calculator. Enter the first number, I'm going to say 45. Enter the second number, 55, and say sum of 45 and 55 is 100. So let me copy this here, then I'll explain you furthermore. Again, notice I put the SC instead of SCR, I put SC. It's meaningless here. You could put whatever you want in there, okay? It's meaningless for the system here. It's just for your visual, you're doing this here. So what is happening here is it's doing this echo command here. This is the regular echo command, okay? You shouldn't be surprised with this, okay? If I copy this and put it in here, it's going to be all day long. It's going to do this and go first number is going to do it, okay? Nothing new about that. Okay, then this part is read num1. We could put that num1 in here, so we already did num1 here, right, at the CLI. So what is the script doing is putting num1 in here, and when it reads that, it's giving you the opportunity to put in the number here. And once you put that and hit enter, it goes and sits in the memory. And it happens same to num2. And here we are creating a variable here. variable is what? Variable is a placeholder. So over here, I'm gonna say total is a placeholder. Yeah, I'm gonna explain this a little further in a minute. Now, what is total?
Question, Mr. Zafar.
Yeah.
So when you're giving the value of that variable you're creating total, is there still a need to use the backticks?
Yes, because expr. So from here to here is a regular text, right?
Yes.
Its total is we are creating up. We could give it sum too. I'll go back and change it to sum. Total.
Okay.
Anything you could think of, you could do that.
Yes.
Okay, so this here is a total is a placeholder. You made it up. So you can make up, okay? So made up. Okay, I'll explain a little more when I officially tell you what this is. And now what is happening here is whatever this total is, it becomes this part here. Boom, this part is going to do the math and then bring it here. So the output here is, so I'm going to say enter a new number, so 30 and another number 28. So it did the math, and sum of 39 and 28 is 67 here, okay? So it's becoming the variable here. So let's concentrate on, so this is getting pulled from memory. So even though this is inside the script here, all this is getting executed on the command line each by each. So what the system is doing is system is going inside the script, opening up, tearing apart the script and copying line and running it here. Okay, so we should be able to do same exact thing line by line in here and get the same result here, right? So let's see, echo, I'm going to copy this. Okay, I run this here, enter the first number, okay? And let's do this here, run the second line. And then now it's giving us an option here, so I'm going to say 45, done. Now it's running the each command here is individual commands here, okay? Each line. Echo, enter a second number. Okay, now since we have the second part, read a second number, I'm going to run that. And then I'm going to put it in here, 90. So I'm going to give some different number here so that you know it's different number. Okay, now since we are overwriting here num1, same exact identical variable, it will override it, okay? You got to remember that. Now I'm going to copy this here and put it in. It might not run here, but let's see if it runs. Going to run. Hopefully it should run here. So if I run this and hit enter, it has done the calculation in the background. Why is it doing the calculation? Because you're using the series of commands which will allow the system to do it. Okay, now if I do this here, so remember over here, this is the same thing here we did here. So we're just doing echo, we are running all this here, it will bring up the same exact thing here. But if you do this here, this part, echo echo the sum of, okay, and let me put this quote here. So what is going to do? The sum of 45 and 55. Where is this? Is instead of, what is it doing here? It's going in the memory and grabbing this, okay, because echo command is there. Okay, what if I do echo dollar total? Okay. What do you think it will show up here? It's going to give you 135 because over here this part is going and sitting in the memory. Okay, so this is how it works here. Once you nail this here, you get bash scripting. It's not very complicated. It's very, very easy. It just, yes, I mean, I'm doing my best to explain you. Okay, don't ever hesitate to contact me and then ask me a question about this, because so far I think I did a good job of explaining you. But if you don't get it, then let me know. I'm willing to spend time with you if you need help. So let me copy this here. In reality, a script is extracted and run on CLI by the system. Okay, that's all it is. There is nothing more than that. So I just, oops. So I just demonstrated that in reality, each line is getting executed on the extracted and executed on the CLI line by the system here. So if you have 100 lines, it's going to run 100 scripts. Boom, 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 boom. Each time. So it's meaningless here if you put that in a script, or if you put it all together as a one line, it's gonna work no matter what. So let's see. This would be like pushing an envelope for me here, and then I'm gonna put this here, and then, okay, did you get the concept here? What is happening? Instead of running each line here, I'm telling the system to do it autonomously. Okay, and then I'm gonna do this. It will run, then a semicolon, then it will run for you. Okay. Oh, I shouldn't have done that, or still have time. Okay, good. So what is going to happen is it's going to do everything a script will do it on the command line. Enter the first number, okay? So I'm going to give the first number 30, second number 40. Boom. The sum of 30 and 40 is 70. All we did is put this in a script here, and it's going to give the same exact results. I'm telling you, the sky is the limit here. if you would, you could put in like hundreds of commands, and you tested this, you could just put it like that, okay? Or you could put it in the script. This is nothing a script. This is the same thing as putting a script into the file. In this file, you just have a place so that it is running there. Now I'm going to go and explain what a variable is, okay? There are two types of variables, static and dynamic. So total is a variable, okay? Here we used a variable here. This is a variable, this is a variable. All these are variables. So let me explain you in deep what variable is. Okay, so a variable, what is this? It's a placeholder. What is a variable? Okay, a variable is a placeholder for a input. For our input commands, etc. You could put the command in there in place of a variable, and it will execute for you, okay? We'll see how that works a little later on, okay? And then variable are defined by person writing a script. Okay, you make up your own variable, okay? It's not a rocket science. And there are two types of variable. Okay, so what are two types? Static and dynamic. All right, so let's look at the static variable. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is let's see here. How should I run this? Okay. So what I'll do is I'll do Chicago equals Illinois and New York equals New York. Okay, what I'll do is echo Chicago. So what's going to happen here? Oh no, I'm going to say echo $Chicago. I hope it has not overwritten. Okay, it's there. And then I'm going to say echo $New York. What is going to happen is coming from the memory. It's the same thing as read. Right? So far this is not too much complicated, right? When you use the read command, it's doing the same thing as you're doing the variable here. So this is a static here. So what we could do is we could put this in a script. Copy template st variable dot st. Okay, again I'm trying to highlight that the name of the script that ends with the extension, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so I'm going to say st variable. This is a static variable example. So I'm going to do the same thing here, copy and paste it in here. Chicago equals Illinois and New York equals NY. Okay, now what I'm going to do is echo whatever I did here, right? I do dollar Chicago. I'll add some other text here. Chicago is in Midwest. Not a big deal. And I'm gonna give a space there. If I just type echo, that means it's a blank space, okay? And then I'm gonna type this here, echo. So you have to be typing same exact as variable, okay? And then I say East Coast. Okay, this part is meaningless. Again, it's just your text for your eyes. And if I run this, boom, Illinois is in Midwest and New York is in East Coast. Okay, instead of this here, this is what the output is. That's what it happened here. Okay, so let me copy this. All right, how is it going on? Is it good, right? You guys are getting it so far?
Yes.
Yeah, very good.
So you don't always need to use the read command.
No, read command is, it will stop the script and give you a chance at that moment to create a, this is a static variable. Okay, let's see if we're gonna be able to use the dynamic. When we're gonna use a dynamic variable, dynamic means it's gonna change. Right, a static IP is static means it's not gonna change. Dynamic means it will change. So when I ran this command, this is the output I got. Same exact output. So the script is not changing here. So now let's talk about the dynamic variable. Okay, so I'm gonna do like this, and static variable, dynamic variable, and let's see here. What I could do is let me just copy this name of the file here. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is cp template dy.dy. Okay, again I'm highlighting, this doesn't mean anything, the extension. Okay, so this is only for your eyes. Okay, this is example of, this is a dynamic variable. Dynamic means it's changing. Okay, so let's see here. So what I'm going to do is how am I going to do this is okay, so I'm going to say echo enter so I'm going to say enter so I'm going to say enter a place in the Midwest, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say read I'm creating a variable here, Midwest. Okay, this variable Midwest is independent of this name here. Okay, you got to remember that. Let's see, Mid City. How about that? Then what I'm gonna do is echo enter a place in I'm gonna say East Coast. I'm gonna say East City. Now what will happen is this will become variables. Now we have to do dollar. If once it's gonna do this, the script will run this, and it will stop right there. And it's waiting for the humans to put in the answer. Okay, then read East City. Okay, then it's gonna stop right there until you type something and hit enter. It's not gonna move. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say echo, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say echo dollar this. You have to type dollar or else system will not run that. Dollar Mid City is in Midwest. Okay, then I'm gonna give a space there, blank echo. Then I'm gonna say echo then dollar East City is in East Coast. Okay, so this part is meaningless here. So the only real thing is happening is this one, this line, and this line. All the other is meaningless. It's just only for your eyes. So if I run this dy variable, it says enter a place in Midwest. I'm going to say St. Louis. Now it says enter a place in East Coast. I'm going to say New Jersey. Okay, so St. Louis in Midwest and New Jersey is in East Coast. Now if I run this again, now I don't have to type St. Louis here. I have to type whatever I need here. Right, I could type Springfield, and then I'm going to type Boston. So now we use the same script here, and then we are using this part is changing here, okay, depending on the input. So the variable, so let me copy this part here. And then let me go in here and let me copy this part here. Okay, and let me make some. Okay, so now, so what is really happening here? it extracted, it copied this part and ran it on the CLI, and then this is what the output gets. Okay, this is what it is. And when it says read mid city, so this part is running here and it taking your input here. So you see here, right over here, you put in the input St. Louis, New Jersey. That's what it got. If you put Springfield and Boston, it will give you some other result. Okay, this is all it is, nothing more than that. Okay, so now I think I told you alias, right? I talked about alias when we did the basic commands. So let's go back to our basic commands here. Basic commands. If I do Control F, alias. Uh-oh. It's not here. Alias. ALIAS. I thought I showed you alias here. Huh? It's not here. Okay, it's in here. I must have missed it and putting in there. Okay, so what is happening here is you could create your own command using alias, right? So this is the thing here. We created our own command, alias, and we did this here. So what we could do is, instead of typing like a little shell script here, what we could do is, now this one here, start of the scripting when I was explaining you. This part, you could definitely make this as a single command, okay? So if I copy and then if I run it here, boom, it gives you this here, right? But what you could do is, you could do alias equal, I'm gonna give it a name, Zafar equal, and then the quotes, and then I'm gonna give this here. So now, okay, so alias. So if I do alias, you see all the aliases in here, and one of the aliases is Zafar here. So if I type only Zafar here, what will happen is, it will run all these commands here, okay? Boom, it ran all those commands. Now, how are we gonna use the alias inside the script? Let's take a look. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clear the screen. So I'm gonna say CP, and I'm gonna say copy template, and then I'm gonna say the name of the alias, ALIAS Zafar. That's the name of the script here, okay? So I'm gonna say vi alias Zafar here I'm gonna go down and say this is a this is example. This is example of using alias. Okay. All right. So let's look at it here. How I'm gonna use this here. Okay. This part
Hey,
is
Mr.
text.
Zafar, you spelled example wrong.
It doesn't matter because this is all pound
Okay.
sign. Okay.
All right, cool.
Yeah. So now there is a built-in command that you could use here. So it's called shop, SHOPT -S expand underscore aliases, ALIASES. So what you have to do is you have to type exactly the way it is. Okay, notice I'm using the pound sign here. If I'm using the pound sign here, from here to here, this part is blind for the script. Okay, you could do that way too. You don't have to have something start right from the start of the line. You could put the comments in the middle of a line also. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create alias. Now I'm going to create the alias command here, right? Over here, I'm going to say Harun equals. Now I'm going to put all the commands in here. I'm going to undo. All right, let me save and exit here. I just came back here to copy the command here, okay? Nothing else. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the alias on the fly inside the script. Okay, then it will become the alias. And then if I save and exit here, and if I run alias, it's not going to run here because I'm not calling it yet. I have to call it here. I have to say Harun. Then the system will go through and take a look here and says, oh, okay, it's Harun. But if you type alias, here you don't see Harun here. What it's going to do is it's going to clean up that alias. It's not going to save it in the memory, or it's not going to keep it permanently on the operating system. What it's going to do is it's going to create at the moment, and then it's going to keep it in there up until the script has been completed running. After that, it will clean it up. So if I'm going to clear this, if I run the command alias Zafar.sh, in that we are creating a script at the same time we are executing it. So you see it ran it for you. Any questions here? Definitely you could have more than one alias in there. Okay?
So could you go over what the shop T-S is doing again?
That part, you don't have to worry about it. What it's going to do is just type it exactly the way it is, this part. Okay, don't worry about this part here. This is just the comments. Shop T-S expand. So that's what I've been using here. So let's see what happened here. So shop T. So in Linux, what is shopd? Shopd is a shell command, built-in shell command, set and unset. Okay, so it's setting the set and unset, remove various bash shell options to see current. Okay, so what shopd does is you could do shopd, and these are the examples here, but let's see if we have the one for alias. Actually, you're using shopd-s set. Okay, then what it's going to do is you don't need to do a -u. Okay, because it is actually built in here once you're using inside the script. All you have to do is shopd-s, and then you're using which command? Alias. So that command is this command alias is good up until at the moment the script is running. After that, it's not gonna, it's cleaning it up. It's setting the alias, and after the script is done, it's removing it also. It's going it so fast you don't even realize it's going how fast it is. Okay, so just worry about this command, type exactly the way it is. It will create and remove. It will set and unset once the script is done. Okay, so now, well, let's see here. What I'm going to show you is if I run this command here. Let's run this command here. Okay, so I'm gonna say enter Midwest city. Okay, I'm gonna say Chicago, Milwaukee. Okay, and then the East Coast city, I'm gonna say Boston. Okay, now if I do echo, so whatever was in the here in the script, we use it as a so if I recall $mid city, you think it's gonna come back here or no? What is gonna show up here if I type $mid city? I just ran this here. It's gonna show up Milwaukee in here, right? Oh, so echo, it should have stayed in there. Mid city is I'm pretty sure it should have stayed in there. So if I run this command on CLI, read mid city, and I type Iowa, and then if I bring this up here, it should say Iowa here. But when I'm doing it in the script here, it's not doing it because it's cleaning it up. Okay, it is possible that it may have the bash may have added this feature here. I was not aware of it. So let's see here, man bash. So there are a lot of things in here. Okay, so there's a lot of things in there, so I'm not worried about it. So just remember, whatever it's running on the CLI, if you're running it through, the script is gonna clean it up after the script is done. That's what is happening here. It kind of makes sense here because you will be running some complex script and you don't want it to be sitting in the memory so that it may interfere with other work you may be doing. Okay, I think I did too much for you guys here today. All right, we'll stop here and continue on again tomorrow. And yeah, this is a really important class, guys. Don't miss this. You would need this on your job day to day. If you need to land a Linux job. It's a 50-50 chance that a job may require you to know the scripting skill or may not require you to know if you end up in a smaller place, it won't. If you go to a bigger place where they have thousands of servers, the scripting part is being done by the developers these days. They're using Python and all that. But you should, in this class, I would always teach you how to do scripting because Bash scripting comes with the Linux as a package. It is already built in. So if I would, I could have not showed you this, but I am compelled to show you because you should know how the scripting works. Okay, so hopefully the amount of material I covered today, so based on that, I may not be able to finish this tomorrow. So we may have to have 2 more classes before the scripting is done, and then after that we'll start Ansible. Okay, you will love Ansible because Ansible is something you would be running on multiple servers simultaneously. So if you want to run like a LVM script on one server, you could run on. If you want to run on like multiple servers, how are you going to do that? You're going to use Bash scripting or you're going to use Ansible. So I'll show you what that Ansible is once we are done with the scripting part. Okay. All right. So this is enough for today. I'm going to stop here, and then we'll pick it up where we left off tomorrow. Okay. If you have any questions, put it in a chat, please.